today's video, I'm building a castle in Bloxburg. After popular demand, I'm becoming king of the castle.
King in the castle, king in the castle.
And of course, at the end, I'm inviting all of you guys, my royal subjects, to come and look around. This is gonna be part 1, the exterior. So if you want part 2, like and subscribe, and I will deliver. And we can name the plot, I'm gonna build castles. So I think with a build that is gonna be this enormous, we are definitely gonna need to find the center of the plot. And honestly, I'm wasting no time getting straight into this. So every good castle has a moat. I've never really understood, because can't people just swim across it? I mean, I suppose if you put sharks in it. Well, anyway, these two towers here are gonna be the entrance to our massive moat. I'm just trying to be extra fancy schmancy with these roofs. Kind of like when I built my water park and I did the roofs all bougie. There really is no trick to it, guys. You just add a bunch of roofs inside of each other. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I think they look pretty cool. And would this be a palace fit for a queen if it didn't have a balcony? And then while we're at it, we'll add in the fence gate. When I looked up palace, all of them are made out of concrete. Like, I don't know if they had no other building blocks back in the day when they built these palaces. I'm gonna combine the concrete with these recessed square pillars. And by the way, I haven't tested any of this before I filmed the video, but I think that looks really grand. And we're then gonna need an equally grand looking wall trim. Normally, I don't put wall trims on both the stories, but I think it works well for a castle. And just a little extra on the roofs, let's add some fences. And guys, I need your help actually. You know every royal palace has a name, for example, Buckingham Palace. All of you need to comment down below what you think this palace should be called, and the most liked comment wins. For a second here, I got a little bit nervous. I was like, oh,
I'm having a panic attack right now.
should I have built this like 1 story up? But no, the castle is gonna be on the hill. But to actually get there, we need to now add, what is it called? The drawbridge. And you might be wondering, that's a little bit of a lame bridge, Reese's. Well, chickens, that's why we're going basement. And this is gonna be our moat. So obviously I'm not gonna leave it looking musty and dusty like that, but I do actually need to extend it a little. I'm gonna start by putting just a wall made out of maybe shingles or something. And in the past, the way people would have to make like a fake moat is they put like a piece of floor going all the way through, and they texture it something like blue ice. And if you guys remember, not so long ago, Bloxburg added the ability to place pools inside of basements. I know, revolutionary. So I'm gonna start by just placing it in a random pattern. And crumbs, we've already broke through the $1 million. And then it's with the floor, which we can kind of add like the diagonals, etc. I'm normally a big fan of using the striped grass pattern. That is just gonna go a mental chicken oriental. I mean, look at that. Looks like a clownfish. So instead, I think we're just gonna have to use lush grass and make it maybe sage green. And of course, we must outline this. I'm using the plain short fence. And I forgot, we're already in the basement, so we can't actually add walls underneath the pool. However, yet another thing they added in the update, I think to sort of work this out, is the ability to change their wall. It's very hard to see, but as you can see, it is changed. And you can also change the color of the water, so I might just make it a little bit more of a nice blue. You might be thinking, Reese's, this moat ain't stopping no one. You've used a shallow pool. Well, guys, I didn't really feel like going bankrupt using the deep pool. Look at how expensive it was. I would have spent 500 grand. And I'm backspacing it, but it's still there. That's actually very concerning. And I've just looked up Bloxburg Castle, and I found this, which looks very similar to what I'm doing. A YouTuber called Ichigo Berry. And basically, she has added like some extra pillars here. This castle looks so similar to like what I was envisioning anyway. So I'm going to take a little bit of inspiration from her. I was going to like take a trip back to the Viking days and have like a wooden drawbridge.
I'm Henry VIII, I had 6 only one.
But I kind of feel like it looks better with the shingles. And I'm so glad I found that inspiration picture, because now I can put like my own twist on it. Down here, I'm going to do something with windows. And this is basically going to be a little bit of an illusion. I've become a magician. No, what the illusion is going to be is that there's like loads of rooms behind here. But obviously, you don't need a bunch of rooms in the basement unless we had a dungeon. That's an idea. I could trap all of you guys. But either way, it just adds a little bit of much needed detail down here. Okay, guys, with all those windows in, I'm thinking I want to add a little surprise for when you guys come look around. What is always found under a bridge, guys? Shrek! Obviously, I won't keep this here forever, but I'm going to leave that there. It's like a little Easter egg for any of you guys who come look around. I'm going to use a lot of the new trees that Bloxburg's added recently. I might actually go into my inventory and use some of the glitter bug bushes. Wait, what are they called? Illuminated bush. And then we'll finish this moat off with some waterfalls going into the river. That is such a nice little moat, guys. Obviously, it looks a little bit ridiculous now because there's no castle there, but with a snap. No, I'm joking. I'm not just going to snap the whole castle in. You've got to build that. So I added a car and placed a few windows in. How much better does that front entryway look with the windows in now? You guys already know I'm a massive fan of big driveways anyway. So I'm just gonna make it humongous. Like, think about how big the drive is on my new mansion. Now magnify that by 10 times. So we should have, obviously, a garage. I always forget garages on normal houses. So thank goodness I didn't today. And rather than this shingle, which is gonna go in a million different directions, I think we should now turn to slate. And since when did we have a classical ramp? What? I always thought we've just had the long plain one. But we've got to be very careful with where we position the garage, because when you're building at a slant, it can go wrong very quickly. And then similarly, we're gonna make like the stairway go up here, I think. Because obviously we've got to have the castle on the hill. We're becoming Ed Sheeran again. What good is a castle that isn't on a hill, you know? And actually, I suppose we should build the hill first. I'm so stupid sometimes. I mean, it's worked out all right for the garage. And how big do we actually want this hill to be? I guess as big as the whole property.
This small?
And I know there's a very simple way to do hills in BLOXBURG, which if you didn't know is getting a mansard roof and then like putting it like that and raising it up. I far prefer doing it the old fashioned way. Oh my gosh. I did not realize how big I was making this. Oh, well, it is for me. But I've got to be careful at the back here to leave enough space for a forest, because I want a massive forest of trees around the back of the hill. I remember earlier, guys, I was talking about hills with roofs, which if you didn't know is getting a mansard roof. We're actually going to do that for some of these bits. And the thing is, when you're doing this with roofs, you can actually make them even bigger. Okay, that was a very, very bad example. If we do it over here, as you can see, you've then got layers to your little mountain. It honestly looks sick. The grass now, as long as it's straight here, we do not need to care how messy it goes underneath the hill. Oh my gosh, I feel free.
But I am free.
And you might be thinking, what about those gaps over there, Reese's? They're looking ghastly. Well, that is where our good friends, the compact bush, comes in. And I can't believe I'm actually building a castle, guys. This isn't like one of my other videos where it's like, oh, building a new house. A castle is so completely different. And that's why I'm having such a party doing it. And Jesus, it's really slow going around this, coloring everything, isn't it? And obviously I've taken a lot of inspiration from that girl from earlier. Anyway, by the time you're up here, you're probably going to be heading either to the front door or to the garage. So this will lead us up to the garage, which will obviously be connected to the main palace. I think we should even add like a little extra bit off the side, because we are going to have legit so many cars.
Everyone's been requesting a car tour.
And then over here, I kind of wanted the grand entrance to be like built straight, so I might actually build it like straight. But that made no sense. What I mean is I don't really want to be building it at an angle. Anyone who's ever tried to build at an angle in BLOXBURG, it gets so fiddly. The walls, look, you just like can't put them together. And obviously we're gonna have like the grand staircase in there, and then from this we can just build the rest of the castle. This is the really fun bit. A castle's most iconic part is obviously the turret. I feel like this is a little bit big for a turret, you know? I like them big. But we could fix that maybe by having like a small one come off it. And I wonder if it's even going to let me place the roofs in this high up. Oh, and you can actually raise them really high up. Why did they make the arrows grey? It's like impossible to find them. Now the moment of truth, does that actually look good? I think it will. Obviously it's just a grey blob right now. But if we add the colour really quickly and place the windows, which are actually a little bit awkward to place because you have to use the small grid, and we all know how long using the small grid takes. The moment of truth. I honestly think that looks 10 times better now, and I'm really, really excited.
So excited! So excited!
And this is what I've come up with. Once again, looking like some sort of jigsaw. So I should have just copied and pasted a wall that had concrete on it, but we all know I'm not that smart, guys. So now I'm going to waste loads more time and money going around painting it all. Look at all these dollar bills flying everywhere, guys. Wish that was real money. Now it's going to be for either the funnest part or the worst part. Placing the roofs. So it's easy enough to place roofs when they're just on top of turrets, etc, etc, etc. But when you're placing roofs on like all of these jaunty angles, it is bound to get in a pickle. We're going to start from top floor and go down, I think. And I'm not going to lie, these third story chunks, they're going to have nothing in them because these rooms are just too small to like spend all that trouble trying to build the roofs around them. Okay, I think I've got it all in place. Now, where is that pesky arrow?
Where are you?
It's like a where's Wally? There it is. There we go. It's all put together now. So up here, we're definitely going to need a couple more of those add-ins, as I like to call them. Never in my wildest dreams, as Taylor Swift said. Did I think I would be spending so long on roofs in one video? But I do hope that this build highlights the importance of roofs, because this was it before roofs and this is it after roofs. Literally a kingdom. Of course, it's still not looking its best because we haven't added any of the pillars, the windows, but I wanted to keep you guys on for that because we're going to use such a variety of windows. So you're going to need to neaten up a lot of things if you're building this castle for yourself or really any big build. So that's what I'm doing right now, just adding in all those extra fill-ins. I realized I left this big space here to do a pool. Obviously, again, with that update, we can have pools on any floor now. So I think we'll just have it as a classic pool. We'll have it like very Slender Man, but I call everything Slender Man. And wow, that does look very thin, doesn't it? Look how big this castle is, and then look at the swimming pool. Let me fix that. There we go. That just looks a little bit bigger. It looks a little bit fancier with like that big bit at the end.
Sorry about that.
Siri, do not interrupt me when I'm building a castle.
Interesting question.
Siri! And actually, we've got to be smart with this. The way to get trees outside plot bounds is to make them small at first. Make Bloxburg think they're going to be all small.
This small?
Smaller.
And then when you resize them, it actually lets it go out of plot bounds. And I mean, we may as well have that all the way down the side of this as well. I do not know how a piece of wood that grows in nature is costing me so much money. I'd be better off just going to that Bloxburg lumberjack job, wouldn't I, at this rate? And for some reason, I actually have much more room on this side. That leads me to believe putting that X earlier didn't really help me too much. The build that is going to be enormous. We are definitely going to need to find the center of this block. And remember, the whole point of this was for privacy. So if we go into the garden, look, nobody is looking in here. And also, nobody can really jump up, even though in Bloxburg you can climb trees. So, and out the back here, I also just added this little almost gazebo. I just thought this was quite a good opportunity to put one. Guys, it's almost time for you to come in, actually. After these pillars and windows, all we have left is my favorite part, the funnest part, the gardening. So the only kind of sneak peek we're going to get in the entryway today is the front doors, which I think should be double traditional. And other than that, it's all going to be a big secret. So the windows on the ground floor are actually super easy to place. And it's more than likely I'm going to end up changing these anyway when we go in to do the inside. And you'll notice I left several gaps. The obvious one is for the garage doors. But the other ones, they are because I am going to be adding massive oval windows. If you're ever looking to have a grand house, my chickens, oval windows for the win. And of course, we're going to have them on several of these big walls. And by the way, these are obviously going to be 2-story rooms. In the interior, if you guys like this video enough and subscribe, then when I do part 2, we're going to have a ballroom, we're going to have a 2-story library. And why is this giving Jeffree Star's mansion?
Hi, how are you?
So now all that's left to do is add in the windows on the turret. Ooh la la! This is honestly surreal. And oh my gosh, some of you guys have started to join. I need to hurry up with the garden. And someone said, I just saw your Insta story and joined. That is, to be fair, the best way to get into my videos. Sometimes I post it on the community tab of my channel, so it's always a good idea to be subscribed. I mean, it just is. But if not, go over to my Instagram and turn on story notifications, because I'll also always post it on my Insta story. Out here, we're adding a little bit of furniture. This is sort of the first bit of decoration that we're really adding in this video. I kind of think if we go into the moat, we should borrow some of that. And then we can make it look like this water is coming from somewhere.
Who are you and who sent you?
And someone give me co-owner. 200 grand. Thank you, lady with the blonde hair. Is that Tom guy on her shirt? I've seen him all over TikTok. I don't actually know his name. I'm so sorry if you're a fan of him. Actually, comment down below his name if you know it. I'd love to be reminded. And then we'll add like a little picnic bench. And we'll actually have a few of these if we have like a garden party. And with that, guys, the outside of my new castle is done. So let's let them all loose. Oh my gosh. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to open up the gate for them. But before we go in, so far, what is that? This values at 682,000. I reckon we're honestly going to end up spending like $1 million next episode. And oh, thank you for the umbrella, handmaiden.
Help me!
As you can see, the outside is glorious. And look at all of my royal subjects making their way in. From the outside, like, this is glowing. Do you know what? I hope you can actually get back up from down here, but... Shrek!
back.
But yes, the entryway to this castle is honestly beautiful. Almost as beautiful as the main thing. So as we go through here, this is the waterfall gardens. And look, it's kind of like when you arrive at a mansion, you get like a sneak peek of it as you go up. So obviously there's nothing really in the garage yet, but it's gonna be massive. Oh no, I hope people don't fall down there. Over here is my little river. This is kind of where everything's coming from. And then you'd be led up these gorgeous stairs to the front door. And I suppose we can take a peek inside. Obviously, it's very separated, but this is kind of giving you a gist of how big some of the rooms are going to be like. And oh yeah, we obviously have like our picnic area. Normally, you wouldn't like have to parkour around the back. You'd just go out the back door, but we obviously haven't built that yet. So in here's going to be a courtyard. But as we go around the back of this house is just as glorious as the front. I do think it needs a couple more windows, to be fair. But overall, that is basically the whole castle done. And I've even got a little dragon with me for the outro. Hopefully all of you guys enjoyed watching this video, and hopefully you all enjoyed coming to look around the castle. Subscribe to the channel and like the video if you want part 2. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!